Jorge Garcia on Charles Conwell, Xander Zayas, and the B-side mentality. Jorge Garcia is relishing his role as the underdog, especially as he prepares to face Xander Zayas. Despite having recently pulled off a surprising victory against Charles Conwell, Garcia feels that many have underestimated him. This Mexican junior middleweight contender thrives on being undervalued, believing that the public's perception of his previous fight against Conwell played a significant role in his performance that night. In their 12-round elimination match, Conwell was heavily favored at 13-1, yet Garcia managed to defeat the previously undefeated fighter from Cleveland by a split decision just 3 months ago. This unexpected win on April 19th in Oceanside, California, has secured Garcia a chance to compete for the WBO 154-pound championship, which Sebastian Fundora vacated instead of defending against Zayas. Zayas, boasting a record of 21 wins and no losses with 13 knockouts, is currently a 4-1 favorite over Garcia, who has a record of 33 wins, 4 losses, and 26 knockouts, according to DraftKings. Hailing from Los Mochis, Mexico, Garcia is motivated to achieve another upset in this title bout, which Zayas hopes will propel him toward stardom. That victory was incredibly motivating for me, Garcia shared with The Ring, reflecting on his win against Conwell. I was aware that a world title shot was on the horizon. I actually prefer being on the B side because of the positive outcomes we've been experiencing. What we anticipated came to fruition. At 28 years old, Garcia outscored Conwell on the judges' cards, with Chris Migliore and Damian Walton both awarding him a score of 115-113, while Lou Moret favored Conwell with the same score. Garcia attributes his success to his mindset during the fight. "I believe my mentality was key to my victory," he explained. "Whenever he landed a punch, I responded even more aggressively. I increased my punch volume, and as the rounds progressed, he fell further behind on the scorecards." Garcia feels he had an edge even before stepping into the ring for their co-feature bout streamed on DAZN from Frontwave Arena. "He underestimated me," Garcia stated. "His team viewed me as someone insignificant, perhaps an easy opponent. My record often leads people to think that way. They become overly confident, believing I don't belong on such platforms. However, my skill and determination are qualities that are rare, and my mentality is even rarer." The upcoming fight between Zayas and Garcia will be the main event on ESPN, marking the network's final broadcast in its 8-year collaboration with Bob Arum's Top Ranking. In the co-feature, Brooklyn's Bruce "Shoo Carrington, the WBC's top featherweight contender with a record of 15-0 and 9 KOs, will face Namibia's Mateus Haida, who is ranked 11th and hold a record of 14-0 with 9 KOs, for the WBC's interim 126-pound championship. The broadcast is set to kick off at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, featuring an 8-round match where junior welterweight prospect Emiliano Vargas, based in Las Vegas and holding a record of 14-0 with 12 KOs, will take on Ecuador's Alexander Espinoza, who has a record of 20 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw with 9 KOs. Keith Iduk, a senior writer and columnist for The Ring, can be reached on X at IdukBoxing. Xander Zayas, the rising star of boxing. Xander Zayas. "I feel like everything is falling into place." Xander Zayas has long envisioned this very moment, complete with its timeline, ever since he joined Top Rank over 6 years ago. Now, the undefeated 22-year-old junior middleweight contender is on the brink of the most significant fight of his career as he prepares to take on Jorge Garcia for the vacant WBO 154-pound title. This pivotal moment arrives during Zayas' 22nd professional bout, following a traditional progression from newcomer to prospect, then to contender, and now standing as the top challenger for the championship belt that will be contested this weekend. "This is precisely the journey I always imagined for myself when I first signed with Top Rank and turned professional," Zayas shared with Boxing Scene. "I consistently stated that I wanted to have at least 20 fights under my belt before stepping into my first world title match. Now, here I am at fight number 22, and at the age of 22, I genuinely feel like everything is aligning perfectly. The Zayas-Garcia showdown is set to take place this Saturday, headlining an ESPN broadcast from the theater at Madison Square Garden in New York City. This event will mark the final top-ranked boxing show on ESPN, a bittersweet milestone for the sport, yet a fitting graduation for the charismatic Puerto Rican fighter. Zayas signed with Top Rank when he was just 16 years old, not even 2 years into their original agreement, alongside renowned fight manager Peter Kahn in 2019. The initial plan was for Zayas, who boasts a record of 21-0 with 13 knockouts, to develop his skills in the ring and grow into a household name, particularly in New York City and his home state of Florida. However, the COVID pandemic posed a temporary challenge to his marketing efforts, as his 3 fights in the heavily Puerto Rican Kissimmee, Florida, were conducted under social distancing protocols. Zayas experienced his first taste of a larger audience in December 2021 when he secured a victory over Alessio Mastronunzio. This fight was significant as it marked his debut on MSG property in New York City, where he has become a reliable draw for fans. This Saturday will be Zayas' 8th fight branded under MSG and his 4th consecutive bout at the theater. Among these matches was his most impressive victory to date, a 10-round, near shutout against former WBO 154-pound champion Patrick Teixeira on June 8th, just before the annual Puerto Rican Day Parade. The venue is as appropriate as any for his first major title fight, even if it's not against the initially intended opponent. Zayas has ascended to the mandatory challenger position for the WBO title that was previously held by Sebastian Fundora, who has a record of 23-1-1 with 15 knockouts. This matchup was ordered shortly after Fundora knocked out Cordell Booker in the 4th round of their March 22nd headliner on Prime Video at the Michelob ULTRA Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Zayas was present at the event and even joined Fundora in the ring for a photo opportunity that resembled a stare-down. However, discussions for the fight did not progress, leading to a purse bid hearing that was ultimately canceled. Fundora vacated his WBO title after Tim Tszyu enforced a rematch clause from their March 2024 encounter, which left him obligated to his second fight. The fact that Zayas will not be facing an established champion in his first major title fight is perhaps the only aspect of his journey that hasn't unfolded as planned. I was initially disappointed, Zayas confessed. I wanted to face the champion and defeat him, not just win 1 but 2 world titles. That was my goal if the opportunity arose. But it didn't turn out that way, and I can't be upset about it. At the end of the day, this is business. Ultimately, he remains a unified champion in the history books, and even though he didn't fight me, he fought another champion. I can't hold that against him. Fundora recently stopped Tszyu after 7 rounds last Saturday at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. Now, Zayas has the opportunity to demonstrate just 1 week later that he deserves to be part of the conversation. The steps he has taken to reach this point fill him with confidence that a rematch with Fundora could be on the horizon following his title fight this weekend. Perhaps down the line, we can still meet, and I can get that shot at my 2nd world title, Zayas speculated. He has previously expressed a desire to fight another champion. Hopefully, after Saturday, that champion will be me. We'll see. If not, we'll just keep winning and continue to face the best. I hope that fight can still happen in the future. For the time being, Zayas' most formidable opponent is the one who will be standing across from him in the ring this Saturday. Jorge Garcia from Mexico, who holds a record of 33-4 with 26 knockouts, has already pulled off a significant upset to reach this point. The 28-year-old from Los Mochis outperformed the unbeaten Charles Conwell, winning a split decision in their April 19th bout in Oceanside, California. This victory marked Garcia's 8th consecutive win, and Zayas is fully aware of the challenge that lies ahead. Nevertheless, this knowledge does not diminish his confidence in achieving his destiny. Little by little, I've been making my mark, Zayas remarked. I've shown the world why I deserve to be in the #1 position. I've earned this opportunity, and I'm thrilled about it. Jake Donovan is an award-winning journalist who served as a senior writer for Boxing Scene from 2007 to 2024 and was the news editor for the last 9 years of his first tenure. He also led the writing for The Ring before deciding to return to his roots. Follow Jake on X and Instagram. Xander Zayas versus Jorge Garcia. WBO Junior Middleweight World Championship live on ESPN+. Get ready for a night of electrifying boxing action as Top Rank presents the Junior Middleweight World Championship bout between Xander Zayas and Jorge Garcia. This high-stakes showdown is set to take place on Saturday, July 26th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time, live on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN+. The event will be held at the iconic theater at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Xander Zayas, an unbeaten Puerto Rican sensation with a perfect 21-0 record, 13 KOs, will face off against the determined Mexican contender Jorge Garcia, 33-4 with 26 knockouts. Zayas, who started his professional career at just 17 years old, has been a rising star in the boxing world. He captured the NABO title in 2022 and has successfully defended it 7 times, including notable victories over Damian Sosa and former world champion Patrick Teixeira. His latest triumph was a dominant 9th-round TKO over Germany's Slaus Spomer, setting the stage for his world title bid. On the other side of the ring, Garcia comes into the fight on an impressive 8-fight winning streak, which began with a 7th-round KO of the previously undefeated Hector Andres Reyes in June 2023. Garcia has also secured wins internationally, including knockouts in the Dominican Republic and South Africa. Perhaps his most significant victory came in April when he handed the previously unbeaten U.S. Olympian Charles Conwell his first professional loss by split decision, earning him a number 2 WBO ranking. But here's where it gets controversial. Some boxing analysts argue that Garcia's recent success might not translate to the level of competition he faces in Zayas. What do you think? Will Garcia's experience and power be enough to dethrone the young champion? In the co-feature, Brooklyn's own Bruce "Shoo Carrington, 15-0, 9 KOs, will square off against the unbeaten Namibian Mateus Haida, 14-0, 9 KOs, for the WBC interim featherweight world title. Carrington, ranked number 1 by both the WBC and WBO, has been a dominant force in the featherweight division, racking up 4 consecutive wins in 2024, including a highlight reel knockout of Bernard Torres and a commanding decision over Dana Coolwell. Haida, who turned pro in 2018, has built an impressive undefeated record, claiming the WBO Africa featherweight title with a 5th-round TKO over Tatenda Bainingu and defending it in April with a unanimous decision over South Africa's Abdulaziz Kunert. And this is the part most people miss. While Carrington is a seasoned fighter with a strong domestic following, Haida's international background and resilience could pose a significant challenge. How will Carrington handle the pressure of a potential upset? The evening kicks off with a series of exciting bouts, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific Time on ESPN+. One of the highlights includes Mexican-American prospect Emiliano Fernando Vargas taking on Ecuador's Alexander Espinoza in a junior welterweight showdown. The undercard promises nonstop action, featuring fights such as Rohan Polanco versus Quinton Randall, Joan Miguel Lopez de Jesus versus Jorge Gonzalez Sanchez, Yin Santana versus Aaron Alameda, Steven Navarro versus Christopher Rios, and Julius Ballo versus Brandon Ayala. For those looking to dive deeper into the event, ESPN Plus offers a wealth of content, including the original series The Fight Life, which returns for its 2nd season. This series chronicles the lives of 6 of boxing's brightest stars: Keyshawn Davis, Michaela Mayer, Jared Anderson, Jamie Munguia, Abdullah Mason, and Emiliano Vargas. You can also catch up on the 1st season, featuring Tyson Fury, Naoya Inoue, Siniesa Estrada, Teofimo Lopez, and Josh Taylor. Stay tuned to ESPN Plus for exclusive access to Top Rank, Real Time, Who Do You Fight For?, State of Boxing, and the Best of Boxing Spotlight, which features an archive of the greatest top-ranked fights of all time. Follow the action on social media with @ESPN Ringside on Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitter, and TikTok. Don't miss out on the main card press conference on Thursday, July 24th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, the weigh-in on Friday, July 25th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and the main event on Saturday, July 26th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Join us for what promises to be an unforgettable night of boxing.